Hello, hello, wherever you are in the world. My name is Agnes van Rhijn. I'm a life and business reinvention mentor at Success on Your Own Terms, and I am the founder of the Woman Who Makes Things Happen show. Today, it is my privilege to be interviewing Vidya Patil. Vidya's mission in life is to help women and children take control of their own lives, create a mindset for success, and realize how exceptionally powerful they are so that they can live happier and more fulfilled lives. She wants women to know that no matter what their background has been, whose dreams they've been living, or how dark their life may seem, that it is completely possible to take control of their life and step into their power. By changing their thoughts, training their brain and emotions, and learning not to let others determine their happiness, they can truly become exactly who they want and start living the life of their dreams. Vidya, welcome to the Woman Who Makes Things Happen show. Reading your biography, you and I definitely are on the same mission. How are you?
Thank you so much for inviting me on this show. And yeah, I'm feeling pretty much excited about it.
It's fantastic. So tell us, we've had the occasion to talk before, so I know already more about you, but the listeners don't. So tell us a bit, maybe a little bit your background and how you started your journey and what led you to where you are today.
Looking back at my life, I just feel like much of my life was, it was preparing me to embrace my purpose and step into the woman I meant to be. And what I mean by that, since childhood, I have seen, and I felt that I was being neglected emotionally.
Mm-hmm.
And I started feeling, unworthy of, unworthy of myself. I didn't get much love, attention from my parents. And when I got married, and in my childhood, I just learned only one thing, like you need to praise others to get love and affection.
Please others to get love and affection.
Yeah.
Wow, there are a lot of women like you.
But I never had any chance to think about me, who I am, what I want to do. Though at the background, in my head, I felt that, this is not me. This is, somebody else in my body who is, staying and trying to please others all the time by doing things which they want you to do. And that is what I've been doing since, in my childhood also. And I've seen that pattern in me very, kind of strongly when I got married and came here in UK. I'm from India, came here in UK, and I again started following my husband's dream.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't actually his, but it was like, get your, exams done, get your certification done, and start working, and start earning money. And that is not who I was. I was somebody different who wanted to enjoy my life, fulfill my dreams, travel around the world, be with people, mingle with them, try to understand them, try to understand myself, who I am, what I want to do and all. And somewhere it just, started bothering me. And at some point, 8 years ago, I literally hit rock bottom in my life. And at that time, I didn't realize, but my doctor, he told me that I'm in clinical depression.
Mm-hmm.
And being a dentist and coming from medical background, it was very hard on me to just realize that, like, I am depressed, like person like me who is depressed.
How can I be depressed?
Yeah. And I couldn't take it, but the symptoms I was throwing, like anxiety and anxiety attacks and everything, it was really horrible. So from that point onward, I started realizing what I wasn't actually doing,
Mm-hmm.
which was my actually purpose of my life. I didn't realize that time, but then I just started looking into my own things, like who I am, what strengths I have got, what things I want to do in my life, what dreams I want to achieve. I know it's like a small realization, like when you feel that you're not getting enough, you're just giving, you run out of whatever you're giving, and there is a whole, it's like a there is a emptiness which you want to fill.
Mm-hmm.
And that time I realized I need to look into who I am. And that time I felt like I had really low self-esteem, because I don't know who I am, I don't know what my strengths are. Unfortunately enough, I have so many role models as a teachers. I started following Louise Hay,
Yeah.
Venn Dyer, and all those people, and I
Yeah.
loved it. I loved it so much that I really wanted to become like them. And the first thing I would like to tell my listeners here is, it's so important to talk to yourself in such a way that you will get motivated. So all I was doing before, like I was motivating other people by looking at their strengths and the amazing talents they have, but I never looked into my own self, what talent, what skills I've got. I only know that I'm a dentist, that's it.
It's always so much easier for with others than for ourselves. Huh? That's
Exactly.
less risky.
And no one was there to, I never had anybody in my life who were there to tell me that, oh, you're good at this, you're good at that, you're good at, and I was like, no, I'm not good at anything. No one was there to tell me, neither I was looking into who I am and what strengths. And sometimes people, they say that, my life is this, my life is that, my life is very bad, I'm suffering from this, the depression, anxiety and all. But I feel these are all stories we tell ourselves.
Absolutely.
And when you keep telling those stories, it expands, because you're focusing on that.
Of course.
And it's your responsibility to change that story and bring yourself out, because no one but you can help yourself.
It's all about taking charge of our life. Huh? That's what I call
Exactly.
stepping into the driver's seat of your life.
Exactly.
And when
Exactly.
we keep um, wanting to believe, because that makes us feel safer, that everything is due to others and circumstances, we're not looking at the true person who stands in the way of our success, fulfillment, etc., and that's ourselves.
Exactly. Absolutely true. And when I started looking into who I am, what strengths I have got, people, they didn't really pay attention to that. It's like, she's good at talking, she's good at mingling with people, she's good at maintaining relationship, but those all are essential skills a
Mm-hmm.
person to be um, it's to be with others, to enjoy their life, in your life, and particularly be happy. Connection is the main, like connection with other people is the main key. We feel that it helps us to be happy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
when I started realizing that, then it took me quite a long time to understand exactly what I wanted to do and how I wanted to do. And throughout this 8 years journey, I have come across a lot of stuff which normally people, they use to develop themselves personally. It's like a personal development. I've
Mm-hmm.
done a lot of diplomas, like few I would like to mention here. I'm a master NLP practitioner, clinical hypnotherapist, um, strategic intervention is like a psychological intervention. And I have done the psychological intervention because I figured it out. It's in your head. Whatever it is there, it's in your head. It starts from your
Absolutely.
head.
Of
So
course.
yeah, when I was going through this depression, I met a person and worked with her. She was a CBT therapist,
Mm-hmm.
and the way she was explaining all these things to me, oh my God, it was so fascinating for me. And that's the point I realized, this is what I want to do. The
Interesting.
lady, yeah, the lady, she's helping me. I still remember her name. And I still remember my, psychiatrist name. Wonderful, wonderful people. Um, And then from that point onward, I started, studying more around this, psychology and all those things.
The ball
And
started rolling.
yeah, and that time I realized one of my dream was working with children and getting some knowledge around child psychology.
What I love about the fact that you're working with children is that obviously, I mean, as coaches, for instance, or psychologists or whatever, we work with adults
Yeah,
already so late in their life, quote unquote. Whereas if we can start so much earlier with children, uh, it's giving them so much more possibilities. And one of the things you mentioned earlier on is everything to do, in fact, with emotional and intelligence skills. And when you can teach that to children, I still don't understand why they don't teach that at school.
absolutely.
It's going to make such a difference for their life, and therefore, by ripple effect, for the life of others.
Yeah, absolutely. And to be frank with you, I went to one of very acknowledgeable school here in UK. And when I was listening to the principal, he said, "We don't teach children, sorry, he didn't say that we don't teach children, we don't educate them, but he said along with education, there are 4 skills which are really necessary. It's like leadership, how to manage your own, emotional state, personal,
Self-leadership, yeah.
exactly, and uh, humility."
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, absolutely, absolutely. These 4 skills are so, so, so important. All we keep teaching, like, do not do this, do this, do not do this. And this all we teach them. I'm not being rude here, or I'm not against any parental beliefs, but all we teach children through our beliefs, what we believe, we try to teach them.
Yeah, and the thing is, we cannot teach them what we don't know.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And that is where you said it absolutely, true. Like, I would love working with, adults, but I'm really quite passionate about, means, how can I explain you, when I had my own son, I had that realization that my son doesn't even know what the things he's looking at, right? We tell them this is a bird, this is a lion, this is an animal, this is, all those.
Mm.
And since then I started realizing how wonderful it is. Like, a person comes in your life, he doesn't know about this world. Whatever you're teaching, they're believing in.
Mm-hmm.
They're so innocent. Means, literally, I feel so. Um, I'm so passionate about, about children. Um, like, I literally feel like crying. It's like what we tell them and what actually we should be teaching them about life. So, looking at my son, and he's now 11 years old. God bless him. I'm seeing him. He's turning into a wonderful human,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and I feel like we need to give each child that chance to develop, I would say, their own expertise, rather than saying that tell them to be doctor, engineer, and all
Mm.
those stuff. So
Which is why it's interesting also that you are having this combo of working with kids and with women, because women are educating the kids mainly. I'm not saying that men don't, but we are a very
yes,
important part of the education process.
yeah,
And so if we ourselves can be more open, more flexible, more willing to reframe our beliefs, etc., that is what we can transmit to our kids, who, again, as I mentioned earlier on, by ripple effect, will have a positive effect around them as well. So
yeah.
very, very interesting work you do.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And I love doing that. And I know that at the moment I'm going through this process called journey to build your business up. And coming from a dentist background or medical background,
Mm-hmm.
I'm taking this, a leap of faith
Mm-hmm.
to go into completely different world. So still I haven't, I know that I would love to work with women and children, but still I'm having that struggle in my mind to find my own niche. And I think and I guess it's everyone's journey to find that.
So you give a beautiful transition to me, because more or less at this point is when I start asking, and what are your biggest challenges in your process? So one of them is finding your niche, obviously.
Yeah. And at some point I know this is again my another passion of um encouraging women to do what they wanted to do, why I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying wanted to do, because very often this happens, like once we get married or once we start having, not having once we have children, it's a normal natural phenomenal, like we just put our things behind.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm still learning, and I've learned you don't have to, if you start affirmations and meditations and visualization, all this process, which is a kind of NLP things plus, a kind of law of attraction things and
Mm-hmm.
all, you can still do what you want to do at some point in your life. But if you don't, yeah, if you
Sorry.
don't hold on to, or don't keep thinking what you really want to do in your life or how you want to have your life, it just goes away. It just goes away, just gets
Yeah,
hidden.
it's coming back to this oh so frequent thing that women have, is that they care of others' needs before they take care
Yeah,
of their own, and then so progressively they are disappearing in their own life, in essence. um, which leads to the work that I'm doing, is that at some point they want to reinvent themselves. So whether it is because they want to change direction, like you are going from dentistry to now setting up your business, or whether it is because they have this feeling of there must be more to life, at some point they start realizing that there is no room anymore for them, and that it's not satisfying them. And that is when they then start daring put themselves back at the center of their life.
yeah,
um, and and so of course I love the work I do, but I would love it so much more if that all of that could be done, that clarity could be gained so much younger in life,
exactly.
which is why I say it's never too early or too late to
Yes.
between brackets invent your life,
Yeah,
because at an early stage in life you can invent your life,
yeah,
so that you don't
absolutely.
have.
Yeah, I'm so loving this discussion with you, and I can see that we resonate so much with each other, and I absolutely adore this. These all thoughts which you are just mentioning, and that is exactly what I feel. And because I don't know, you are doing quite a lot of work around that, and you are working at the moment with that niche. But I think so at some point they just lose their confidence, and in some women I have seen that they lack this self-esteem,
Oh,
like they don't
absolutely.
know. Yeah, absolutely, they don't
Absolutely.
know what they're doing. I mean to say, very interestingly, very very shortly, I would like to mention one thing here. One of my friend, she called herself a dyslexic, but I'm sure she's not, because she's not, she hasn't got diagnosed by proper medical tools.
Mhm.
She is so good at organizing. She didn't know about this. Only couple of after a couple of sessions, I just mentioned her this, and I said, why don't you just create a business around this? And she's
Mhm.
like, what, so many people are, I said, yeah, so many people are good at something, but you are good at this.
Mhm.
And you won't believe, she's having her own, though it is not, obviously it's not on a big scale, but she's having her own business. She's earning money, plus you can see the self-esteem and confidence has like
Of
you know
course, propels.
absolutely. And I was like, I love that as well. I love people holding on to their strengths than their weaknesses. And I love them listening to themselves first and then others, because at some point your loved one, and I'm saying loved one because they are really your loved one, they actually pull you down. And I'm not saying everyone does that, but at some point people, they say like, yeah, you're good at organizing, but what's the use of organizing skills? Yes, you're good at, and that happened to me as well. Yeah, I'm good at talking, but what's the use of good talking? You just keep talking.
The thing is that these are things we have not learned. So whoever you look around, talking about yourself or the people around you, it's coming back to what I said very earlier on. We can only have been taught what the people who taught us something new, it was based on their own beliefs. They cannot teach us something that they don't know. Yeah. So that's why it's so important that whatever belief we have, we can challenge them by thinking, hey, what if it were not true? What would be an alternative? So having that openness, that flexibility is when the ball starts rolling. And you're right, women in particular have a very low self-esteem, a very low level of confidence. And you're right, the work, I have a very holistic program, and the work we start with is absolutely around the clarity of who you are and what's important to you and what you're good at, before even looking into clearing what stands in the way.
I absolutely love this.
Take stock of it, and
yes.
It's amazing. But the other thing that's interesting also in what you mentioned is that if we take this example of that person you were referring to that had good organizational skills, because things are so natural for us.
Exactly.
We don't think it is a strength, and we have no idea that others may need it. So when working with a person like you or me or whatever, mentor, coach, etc., in fact, we're holding a mirror that is so difficult to hold for ourselves.
I know.
So it's look who you are. Look at how good you are. But nobody ever told you.
I know. And I love this work. I mean, I can't stop giggling, and why I'm doing this, because I'm absolutely loving whatever, the words, whatever you're saying. It's amazing, how you can make this simple thing, like as you said, hold a mirror in front of them and see, look at yourself. That the one exercise makes a lot of difference in their life, a lot of difference. And I cannot imagine that if you have, as a mother, self-esteem and confidence like that, what you can give to your child.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why I really love your work. So talking about your work, do you work in person only, or do you work virtually? How do you go along with that?
As I said, I'm in this transition, and I'm working online as well, and I would love to work online and virtually as also. I would love to touch whoever's like many, especially women and children's life. And I'm not saying that I'm not going to work with male, and I have got few clients, but their transformation is also amazing. And I'm not saying that they don't need it. They do need it, but they just show that sometimes resistance to
it's a matter of readiness.
So yes, but both ways, I would love to work virtually as well, and one-to-one as well. So
before I forget, where can people find you?
I've got one website which is coming, only one page is ready, so if they can Google www doctor, which is DR, and my name VIDYAPATIL.com.
And you have also a website for the kids?
Yes, I have, and that's quite longer one. So do you want me to read that as well?
You can. I will add it on the release anyway. Just mention it. You don't spell it if it's too long. I will add it.
Yeah, it's a www.kidsattitudemanchester.nlpforkids.org.
It definitely is a long one.
So yeah, they can connect me there, and obviously I would love to connect with people on my Facebook, which is Vidya Patil. That's the simplest
Mm,
one. Dr. Vidya Patil. I have got a business page also, so they can find me on Facebook as well, Twitter,
perfect.
LinkedIn. Yeah.
Perfect. So to bring this interview to a conclusion, because these are conversations that can go on for hours always, but we have to come to a conclusion. Given this time of the year, what is your vision for 2016 for yourself?
Um, First of all, as I said, again saying the same thing, like I'm in this transition. So get myself out, be visible, help as many as I can, as many women as I can. And as I'm starting these two businesses at same time, which has got some different aims for each, like with kids and with women, I just would like to see how it works in this 2016. So 2016 is my own, year of being adventurous
Mm-hmm.
in my business, which is quite scary.
I
Um,
feel fear and do it anyway.
so yeah, I mean, so there are a lot of things like I need to work out. Is like my own frustration, my own like organizational skills, and all those kind. It's not easy to develop any business, I guess. So yeah, 2016 is, as I said, affirmation do play part. So I don't want to use rough as a kind of rough, but it's like I know there will be these roller coasters, and I have to take a smooth ride on that by keeping my focus and patience. So that is absolutely necessary, I guess. So I can see that the roller coaster kind of things
Yeah, well,
2016.
isn't it what life is about anyway? I mean,
Exactly.
life is a roller coaster.
Yeah.
So you are just putting a very strong focus on one very specific part of your journey.
Yeah.
But I can definitely see that you have what it takes to succeed. Not a problem. You will.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank
So
you so
Vidya,
much.
thank you so much. I've really enjoyed this, and well, I wish you all the best in your journey and in 2016.
Mhm.
And I really encourage people listening to this show to see that, yay, you're not the only one. Go after your dreams, and you can make it happen,
Absolutely.
definitely. And
Absolutely.
well, if you want Vidya to help you on shifting your blocks, etc., she definitely can do so. Thank you very much. Goodbye.
Thank you so much for inviting me. Thanks a lot. Bye.